Okay, now it says recording in progress. Thank
Okay.
you.
I'm gonna now give you host access again.
Tony, am I gonna have to share a screen with you or anything?
No.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, so it's gonna continue recording. Okay, once I jump off, it's on.
Okay.
So you're all set, Julie. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so I will start the meeting now. There are 7 of us in hand, and just to take the roll call, I see myself, Laura Spalter, Tony Edwards, David Gelman, Isaiah Tejeda, sorry if I mispronounced your first name, and Paula Fry. Tejeda, can you just say your first name so I don't mispronounce it again?
Isael?
Isael, thank you.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay, so we're all here. So in regards to the agenda, we're going to skip the next item, which is approval of the minutes. We will be doing that at our next meeting. And the chairperson's report, regretfully, Ted isn't here, so we will also skip that on to the next session. And budget request. I'm going to just do that after Tony's presentation in hopes that either Margaret or Ted will come on so we can have a committee discussion on the budget request. Okay, so before we move on, does anyone have any questions or comments?
No.
If you raise your hand, just speak up because I won't be able to find you. Sorry. If anyone has any questions or comments, feel free to just jump right in. Okay, so then old business, again, I will skip until hopefully either Margaret or Ted show up, the committee members. So we will go on to new business with the SAPO applicant from the Marble Hill Resident Association. They have applied for a full street closure on West 228th Street and Marble Hill Avenue to West 230th Street and Marble Hill Avenue. It's the 30 years of community service anniversary event, which will take place on Saturday, June 18th, 2022. And it will take place from 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. And I will give the floor to Tony Edwards.
Okay. Hello, everybody. For those who are unfamiliar about what's going on, there's the only Black-owned business in Marble Hill. This gentleman, his name is Roosevelt Spivey. He's known as Rosie. And what he wants to do with this event, is to give back to the community that he serviced for so many years. And so that's the purpose of this street event. To get into more particular matters, it's basically going to consist of a DJ, music. The electricity will be supplied pretty much either from his shop or the store, which is right next door, which is actually closer to the street. As far as any other entertainment vehicles, there's nothing to be considered at this time, even though I received the email from Sierra indicating or suggesting that with the FDNY and HPD, they're looking to have an information session as well during that particular time. Now, though this is not part of the thought or the thought of the actual principal person, I will speak to him and see if he'd be willing to consider having such vehicles or additions to this event. Now there are questions that was presented to me, which I spoke to the gentleman as well, and we filled them out. Now I could read it off either like as a yes or no, or I could actually email the information to the community board. It's your choice, Ms. Reyes. Y'all mute, Ms. Reyes.
Thank you. I'm sorry. Can you do both, or are there many questions and answers?
Well, and it's your guys' questions, so to take a quick look. Okay, it's about maybe about 20, 25 questions. And they're pretty much, it's like a yes or no. I just can't say they're all.
Okay,
no.
so just read them through then. Just
Okay,
read them.
all right. On the first page, the first question is, have you held this event before? No. So this is the first time event for this particular gentleman. The street where this is going to take place on is a street that was one time used by the 50th precinct for National Night Out. All right, so is that pretty much the same street? Question number 2, estimated attendance for this event. We say 150, it could be a little bit more, all depends. All right. Third, will there be live entertainment? There'll be a DJ. All right. Fourth, will the event contain any commercial branding or advertising? No. Will the event be advertised? Word of mouth. All right. So it's like yes or no. But I said more so word of mouth. So then the best answer I think will be yes. You know, that's the advertisement. All right. Will there be a red carpet, rope, or any stanchions used? No. Will there be on-site security? Yes. I believe he's going to employ his own security team, but the 50th precinct, they should be there as well, since you could say it's like a block party. Usually the police show up for a block party. Please provide details on site security. 50th precinct, that's what he wrote down, was written down in the application. Will there be amplified sound? You can say yes, because there's a DJ. Will the event require overhead cabling or pole tap electricity? No. Will generators be used? No. Is your generator? No. Still the answer is no. Will gases and liquid fuels be stored? No. Will there be open flames? He plans on using a choice of possibly like a grill. All right, but then he's really more so looking to have the food catered. So it all depends on the caterer, if they need to have sterno, on hand. That I'm unsure of, but that's a possibility. All right. Will there be special effects, pyro or fireworks? No. Will any oversized vehicles or heavy equipment be used? No. There's a bit of the height. Next page. All right. Length. Will the event employ a crane? No. Will the event employ a stage? No. Or scaffolding? No. Will bleachers or grandstands or other related structures be used? No. Will the event employ a prop? Prop is a freestanding object or a combination of objects? No. Will the event employ a truss? A truss is a structure composed of a combination of members, chords, diagonals, web members? No. Will there be a tent or canopy? No. Based on the information given.
I'm sorry, Tony. What was that question about the trust?
A truss, yeah. It says, will the event employ a truss? A truss is of a combination of members such as chords, diagonals, web members, used in some triangular arrangement so as to constitute a rigid framework, like lighting, trusses, finish. No.
Okay.
The next question after that, will there be a tent or canopy? No. Question 21, will there be 75 or more people inside the tent? It's not going to be, there's no tent involved. So people will be out in the open. If it rains, well, I don't know, maybe you'll provide raincoats, I don't know, ponchos. 22, will there be festoons associated with the event? I'm not sure. This is decorations that are fixed on top of a single light pole. No. All right. Will permanent street furniture need to be removed? No. Will horse-drawn carriages be used? No. Will there be general vendors at this event? No. There's no selling of any type of material. If just so happen a vendor should show up, that's not going to be allowed. It's supposed to be a free event. People will come there and enjoy the day in part of the evening. Will there be general vendors at the event? How about that? It's possible, but again, they're prohibited from selling anything. No selling at all. Now, if somebody want to pass a business card, that's something different, you know. But as
Okay.
far as trying to solicit a business, no. Yeah, that's no. Will any food or beverages, including packaged and bottled items, be distributed or sold at the event? No.
No food will be distributed at the event, but didn't you say he wants to use a
I
grill?
said distributed or sold. See, the key word is sold. Nothing's going to be sold.
But he's gonna distribute some for free
Yeah,
though. no?
okay. All right, well,
Okay.
the question should have been broken up in two phases then.
Okay, I just want to be clear on that because
Yeah,
he is having food. Okay, go ahead.
all right. Question 27. Will your event include solicitation of funds? No. Will alcohol be sold? No. Will there be temporary erected rides? No. Will there be carnival games? No. Will there be animals involved? No. Will you require a hydrant tap for your event? No. Will there be inflatable rides, bounce houses? No. Will there be a truck mounted rides like whips, sit-in spins? No. And that's pretty much it. Everything else is here. This talks about the payment arrangements and so on and so forth, which I believe all that's been satisfied as far as the payment for the
Okay.
permit. So yeah, that's about it as far as the questions.
Okay, I just have three quick ones. In regards to the rain, is there a rain date or that is the only date?
That's the only date.
Okay, so no rain date. And then my second question, the advertisement, you're not advertising at all?
No, it's pretty much, like I said, it's word of mouth. It's unless he's doing it on his own, but normally it's just that the function is supposed to be for the people that actually patronize this guy's shop. And so that's people pretty much here in the Marble Hill houses and a few of the surrounding areas, like towards the promenade, people up that way. Anybody else, if it's advertised, it'd be through word of mouth. Like you might call, put the word out to ex-customers or former customers. And pretty much that connection will be through a phone call, a personal phone calls from not so much just from him, but it could be from the patrons that's want to show up for the event. They may call like, hey, Ron, Rosie's doing this on this day, so come on by, that type of thing.
So this is primarily geared towards his patrons, not the community.
Yes. Yeah. Now it's people from the community that utilize the shop as well, not the entire community. So now I want to be clear about that, but it doesn't mean that he will stop anybody from participating. But of course, his main focus is really for his patrons.
Okay, but the public is welcome. Anyone can attend.
They're welcome, yes. That I
Okay.
want to ensure and make sure that he's aware of that as well. Instead of just being, narrow mind is too bad of a word, but just to have tunnel vision. His thing is he says he's giving back to the community, but he wasn't thinking about the broader community. I think he's just thinking about his customers.
Well,
but of course,
well, he needs to broaden up. If he wants to give back to the community, I would suggest next year possibly advertise for the community. And you say that anyone can show up, so that's a good factor. But if he wants to do the community, my personal opinion is he needs to advertise to the community if that's his target audience.
right.
That's just my personal. And then my third question and my last one is that there's no bleachers, no stands or anything. Will there be any seating for like the elderly or someone who just needs to take a seat?
I'm sure that's a good question. I'm sure there will be some chairs provided. The chairs will probably more or less come from the church, which is adjacent to the street. Because for National Night Out, when the police occupied the same space, whatever tables that were needed or chairs that were needed, they got it from St. Stephen's Church.
Okay, I know you guys used to do a good job with that too. So I'll send you those three questions too. I'll send you just a quick thing, so maybe you could pass it along to him.
Okay.
Julie,
so
I
now
have
we
a
have
quick
two
question.
hands.
Question.
Okay,
Mike-
wait a minute. Laura, you go ahead.
I
And then
may have missed it. What was the time frame, Tony? The time?
Believe it's from
It's from
That's
12
okay.
to 9 PM.
Yeah, 12 to 9.
Okay. And
Okay.
he seems to be a popular business person. Is there anything you want us to know about him? He wants to give back. It seems maybe his patrons want to give back to him. Is there any story there, any history?
Well, as I started off, he's the only Black-owned business in the area. Pretty much, I say, if I had to guess, maybe within like a 10 or maybe 15-mile radius.
Really?
know,
Wow.
And he's been here for quite a number of years, as I mentioned. He cut my hair when I was 1. I'm 62, so 61 years at least he's been servicing people within my lifetime. And so he's serviced like not only young men or older men, but young women and older women as
Mhm.
far as he still does that now. And so, I think he's also realizing that his time to continue operating is pretty much coming to a close. And I think that's pretty much the reason why he wants to do this event, to say thank you to everybody.
Um,
I mean, the gentleman's 80 years old. So, not saying 80 is a death sentence or a time for you to sign out, but I'm sensing that's what he's getting at.
mhm.
Before he leaves, he wants to say thank you in a special way.
Thank you. This
Very
is
nice
good
of
for us to
him.
know.
Very nice of him. And Laura, do you know? If not, I'll reach out to Economic Development if they're aware of him and his business. Do you know either Laura or Tony? If the Economic Development Committee
Well,
is
I was
aware of?
thinking along those very same lines, we do have a
Yeah.
most valuable merchant award, and somebody might be
Yeah.
interested in nominating him. And discussing any impact on the community. So we'll talk more about that offline. That's absolutely right.
Definitely.
Julie. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. David, your hand is up.
Yes, thank you. How does this relate to the Marble Hill Family Day celebration every year?
It's no direct connection. The only connection is the people that participate in Family Day, the Marble Hill Family Day, because again, the majority of his customers were from Marble Hill, let's say Marble Hill houses, and maybe a few within the surrounding buildings. All right, but as far as direct connection, the only direct connection will be the people that show for Family Day. A lot of times they went to Rosie for a haircut.
Okay, and the other question I've got is the resident association doing this to honor Roosevelt, or is this something that he's putting on and the resident association is asking for the space to be blocked off for him?
The
Because you
residents,
said it was directed at his patrons.
yes, well, his patrons are also my residents as well. So it's kind of both. The resident association is just supporting him on his saying thank you to the residents, who a majority of them are from the Marble Hill houses.
But you said that this was directed at his patrons.
Well, his patrons who are residents of the Marble Hill houses.
Right, because the business is right across the street. It's right.
No,
within the
I
community.
understand that, but you're saying that this event is directed, well, it's actually around the corner, but this is directed at his patrons and not at the Marble Hill residents directly.
It is for the Marble Hill residents and those who may live outside of the Marble Hill area. But again, for the number of years that he's been here and the people he served were primarily from the Marble Hill houses. And you have
And he
residents,
is across the street.
and then you have residents from the Promenade Apartments, and a selected few people from the individual private buildings in the area as well.
Will he be inviting all of the residents of Marble Hill?
Whoever wants to show up.
Will he be inviting them?
I don't believe.
David, it's like any street fair. You walk by, you see it, you join in the festivities. You can't go knocking on every door. Come on, let's move on, please. Does anyone else, David, do you have another follow-up question?
No, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Does anyone else have any questions for Mr. Edwards?
Yes, this is Ms. Fry, the manager of Marble Hill. Just two questions. What was the gentleman's name again?
Roosevelt Spivey, but we know him as Rosie.
And so this is not gonna take, this is not gonna happen on the Marble Hill property. It's gonna happen on the street.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Right, you're not gonna give Ms. Paula any extra work, right? Thank you, Ms. Paula, for that question. That's a good
No.
question. No, I know. Okay, does anyone else have any questions for Mr. Edwards? Okay, Mr. Edwards, there is not a quorum. It's just me and I. So I will definitely pass this on to the board, but I 100% would recommend the application. And please tell him I wish him luck and success.
Well, of course, you guys are welcome to come on down.
Oh, you know that? Thank you.
Sure,
Okay.
thank you. And we'll talk offline about a couple other things. All right,
Yes.
but it pertains to him on a positive note. All right,
Okay.
but we'll talk offline about
Good
that.
enough. Thank you. Okay, so we'll go on to the next agenda, old business. As of now, I have no old business, but I would like to call, if you don't mind, Ms. Paula. Thank you for taking the time for being at the meeting. Do you have anything, Ms. Fry, that you'd like to advise the committee? She took us offline. Can you hear?
I'm here.
We don't hear you.
Um,
Okay,
Well, we're on the way with doing the boilers and the hot waters and switching them. They're set to building number 11, which is 210 West 25th Street. They're set to shut off their water so they can start working on the hot water in that building on Thursday. They're gonna start posting the buildings. Also, they starting to try to do work or get the procurement for the community center to be completed. What else is going on? There's a whole lot of stuff going on at Marble Hill. We did have to, building 11, once again, was 210. We had to shut off the power so there could be some repairs done to the electrical box, which was done and the power was restored. I see nothing but good things. I did happen to see a positive note. I did happen to see Marble Hill in the news, you know, with them working on the boilers and the hot water. So right now the boilers and the hot water tanks are together. So what they're trying to do is separate them. So, you know, it'd be illegal. They have more hot water or more heat. It's not combined.
okay, that's great. Thank you. Thank you for informing us. Now, when they shut off the hot water, the water in building 11, will there be a time frame or will it just go off indefinitely?
Yes, no, it'll be from 9 to 2. It'll probably be shut on sooner and we will have a water station available for the residents in that building.
Okay, good, great, thank you. And just going back on like budgetary requests, prior, there was a request to rehabilitate and reopen the Marble Hill Building 9 laundry room. Had that ever been done or it's still closed? For Building 9, the laundry room,
No, it has not been done.
it's still,
Well, that requires funding, right? We have not got
Right.
funding. And then at the same time, there are internal concerns because of the, you know, Ms. Fry, I'm sorry for interrupting you if you wanted to say something. You know,
No, go
okay,
ahead. The
be-
concerns
before you do,
Uh-huh.
I was just gonna say, first, thank you, Tony and Ms. Fry for attending and giving the information. We're just gonna switch over to budget issues. This way I can include this officially so that we can try to see what we can do, what can be done. So go ahead. Go ahead, Tony.
well, I was saying, you know, internally, you know, though it would be a good measure, it was something that was done in the past, but because of the climate of people in the area, you know, there's a more of a safety and security concern now, you know. And that has to be investigated a little bit further before we even try to push to have something like that actually installed. And maybe we have to find a different location. We don't know. We know, the old location, it has, from what I remember, it has this little pocket, hidden pocket. Once you enter the laundry room, and that could be considered like a hangout. And that's one of the concerns that we have. And so the whole thing has to be really thought about before it's moved forward, and even requesting funding.
Well, how long has the laundry room been closed?
That I cannot tell you. I mean, if I gave you a number, it's just a guess.
Approximate.
I say about 10 years, 10 years or more.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. That's
But then again,
ridiculous.
you have a laundromat, which is right across the street from 210 West 230th Street that a lot of people, they patronize. You have another laundromat going up towards Adrian Avenue, so it's not
Right.
really inconvenience, it's just they just have to walk a little bit, to use it. And then a lot of residents, they have their own washing machines. But yes, it would be a nice feature to be able to bring back to the development. But again, we have to think about safety and security with the opening of that. And then I have to find the vendor, because the vendor that will operate is not somebody from the housing authority. It will be a private vendor. So that too has to go for bids. And, it's a lot to it. It's not like a 1, 2, 3 fix or implementation.
Well, after 10 years is not a 1, 2, 3 fix. I mean, what is the proposed location for a laundry room then within Marble Hill?
Well, we was looking at the former laundry room itself. The space was actually.
What building is that in?
That's in building 9.
Okay, that was a request, rehabilitation and reopening of the
Yeah.
Marble Hill in building 9.
Yeah.
Okay, so that if funding was requested again on that, is that something that your association would ask for?
Yeah, we were welcome, but again, I would speak, my decision wouldn't be mine alone. Again, I would
Mhm.
speak with the property manager and maybe even a couple of her superiors as well. It has to be really looked at, because that was something that was brought up after the fact. It seemed like a very good idea, but then what came out was like, Tony, well, think about this, think about the way that we have some people who are, I'm not gonna, some people that would tend to criminalize the area, because they would see it maybe as a pocket where they can hide and do whatever nonsense, criminal nonsense they have behind them, and that's a concern. So now is again, a safety and security issue. So they have to be further addressed. When we first talked about, we was thinking about the residents and trying to make things more pleasurable for them, more convenient for them. But then in the afterthought, that's when it came up about the safety and security. So that has to be revisited. At this time, biggest focus was really working on more or less the groundwork, the boilers, heating and hot water, and other security features like as a parking lot. That's one of the things we're looking at. We're looking at one to put a security gate this way by building 11. That's one of our larger parking lots. And what happens is that all the slots are not really occupied. And so since in the area parking is so strained, we have unauthorized visitors, let's say, they'll come and they'll use vacant slots in the parking lot. So our focus pretty much, our priority has more or less changed to looking at those other items I just mentioned as opposed to laundromat. Laundromat will be something to discuss further.
Another 10 years?
I can't say.
I'm being, okay, thank you, Tony. I'm pretending like we're in the room talking, okay? Ms. Fry, do you have any comment on any of like possible budget requests? I'll read off what has been done so far, so everyone listening can see. For capital requests, they have number 1, boiler repairs and replacement for Marble Hill and Fort Independence. Number 2, repair all walkways and sidewalks for tripping hazards. And number 3, revenue for comprehensive roof repairs. that's what they have for capital. For the expenses, the top three are revenue for consisting monitoring of all building and roof landing cameras. Number two is funds for sanitation manpower. And that goes again with ongoing problems with the trash. And number three, what we just discussed, rehabilitation and reopening of the laundry room in building 9. So are any of those issues, have any of them been completed? Are any of them you wish to tell us disregard? Or Tony, I have what you said about the security gate, that's a concern for yours.
Mhm. And as far as the monitoring, that was something I brought up last year, as far as having maybe hire a person or a couple people to be like security as far as watching the monitor,
Right.
watching the camera screen. You know, 'cause
Mhm.
the manager, she has other day-to-day activities that she looks at, and then I believe there's no one really on staff to sit down like as like a security service where they look at a
Right,
screen all day long. And so that's just an idea, and maybe they have a person involved in that to be able to monitor the camera activity.
okay. Okay, thank you. I see, Laura, your hand is up. Go ahead, Laura.
I just had a quick question.
Sure.
Marble Hill has so many buildings. Are there other buildings that do have laundry centers, laundry rooms? Or was the only one in 9? I wasn't clear on that.
From what I recall, it was only building 9.
So that's the only official laundry
Yeah.
center.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm hearing a mixed message. Julie, are you clear on whether this is something that should remain on the list, or you feel like we take it off the list? Are you clear in your mind, Julie? I'm not clear.
Personally, if I lived in Marble Hill, I wouldn't want to have to walk across the street and use a laundry room. I would want a laundry room in one of my buildings. How many buildings are there? You have the 50th precinct has a beat cop who's supposed to walk around. If there's issues, let's clean up the issues. The innocent people who reside in Marble Hill should not be punished for those few who are making it bad for them. You know, let's
I think
clean it
this has
up.
been,
That's my
a-
personal.
I think this has been a high priority for Ted.
Mhm. Yeah, it's 10 years.
You know, what I'm wondering is, like, it seems that there's something about this location that lends itself to a negative element because of the physical layout. You know, there might be some kind of rethinking of where and how, but certainly I think I agree with you, Julie, the development should have, you know, a facility.
Ms. Fry, would you like to give us
Weigh
your
in.
thoughts?
My thoughts with that is, like you said, the 50th precinct, they are also short-staffed too, but to have them, they're not, I'm not gonna say they're not. It's hard for us to get them to come out when we threaten.
Yeah,
So I don't know that they're going to patrol that laundry room as they should. I definitely feel how the residents feel. If they want a laundry room, give them a laundry room, but we have to have the resources to make sure that that laundry room is safe and nobody gets hurt. My
Right.
suggestion, however, how I feel is the most important part is the tripping hazards throughout the development and the roofs.
okay,
The roof's not being repaired. This is where we're having problems with the facade and it's leaking into apartments, which is causing mold. As far as the tripping hazards, me, Mr. Edwards, and I can't remember, Mr. Miller and Dr. Jones did a walkthrough with the team to look at all of these tripping hazards. And we're only allotted for $250,000. Even Mr. Miller had said, advocated that we need at least $4 million just to get the whole interior done.
okay. Wow, that's a huge difference. Okay. Okay, and that was number 2 on the request with the tripping hazards. So definitely keep it there. I would recommend. Does anyone have any other comments? Okay, so the new addition then, just to recap. The boiler is still an issue to keep it at 1. And again, this isn't steadfast. This is just a recommendation that's on the list that the board will have to vote on. So, Mr. Edwards and Ms. Fry, if there's any changes that you would recommend, let me know. But for now, I have the boiler, number 1, the repair of the sidewalks and the tripping hazards, number 2, and the revenue for the roof repairs, number 3.
That's,
Okay.
that sounds okay. I mean, the work is actually taking place now as far as the boilers and hot water system. So
Right, but we
that's
want to
on
make
good.
sure that it's completed.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, and then the other, for the expenses, it has revenue to hire someone to look at the cameras for the building roof landings. The second one for sanitation, to start picking up the garbage nearby. And the third, where I get different things with the laundry room. And then the fourth, the security gate. Well, I don't know, David, the security gate, would that be up in capitals or security gate by building 11?
Are you talking
That would be
about a front,
expense.
are you referring to a front door or?
No, we're talking about the entranceway to the parking lot. In fact, the money was allocated by Councilman Yadanis Rodriguez in the amount of $100,000 to put up 2 security gates. One for the by building 11, which is our largest parking lot, and then the second gate will be behind building number 3. And that's a smaller parking lot. But what happens? People that want to utilize the Target store, they find it more convenient just to park in our parking lot, and so just to keep them out, that's what was recommended to put a gate there as well.
2 things. One, if it is in fact $100,000, then it needs to be capital. However, if you said that Councilmember Rodriguez already
capital.
allocated the money for it, I don't know that there's a need to relist it. I think it's been, paid for or allocated.
It's in fact, there's a project number, which I don't have readily available, I can always provide it to Cap, and then team from Capital Projects, they've already looked into it, they scoped it out. I know that, in fact, the type of gate is a sliding gate, which is actually used at the Todd Hill houses in Staten Island. All right, so it's been
Okay.
scoped out. Right now, what's happening because of the construction work or the upgrade work that's done for the boilers, that smaller parking lot, that gate, that security gate is going to be put on hold because of the equipment that's being moved into that area. All right. But as far as when they're going to start with the larger parking lot, hopefully it'll be towards the end of this year, because this like with Ms. Fry, she mentioned like the gentleman that is from Capital, Mr. Miller. All right. Part of his assessment of what's going on, he was saying that Capital will begin to work on it. I think right now it has to go through, bidding. All right.
Okay, so, but this issue it's already in the works and it's not going
It
to be
sounds
more
like
than
it's
100.
funded.
Yeah, so it's not more than 100, Tony, so that it's a done deal then, if you have a project number and it's already been scoped and everything.
Correct.
Okay, so then we're gonna move on to the next one then. And then we just need feedback from the Ford Independence houses. I'll check with the officer what's head on that. So before we that's it for that. Does Laura or David or anyone else at the meeting have any other comments for the budget section? I see we had two other participants.
No, I'm good. It seems that you have solid needs there, and the ones that are not funded certainly take priority.
And no, I agree. It does sound good. These are pretty serious matters.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that there's, high on the list. Are you or Ted going to
Oh,
send
that's
this
the gate.
to? Huh?
Yeah,
That's the gate. Can you see?
Yeah.
yeah.
Julie,
go ahead,
are you
David.
or Ted going to send this to the office and me tomorrow?
By tomorrow is Tuesday, by our meeting, is our board meeting tomorrow?
No,
When is the next general board meeting?
not for another 2 weeks. But
Oh,
we
okay,
need to
yeah.
put
Had me
them
worried
together
there
this
for a
week.
minute.
They were due
Okay.
Friday.
Okay, so, yeah, it's pretty much done because it's going back to what was prepared back in 2021. So they will have it by tomorrow.
So that would be terrific. Thanks.
Okay,
And,
Thank you,
and
David.
please CC it to me as well.
will
Thank you.
do. Okay.
Julie, thank you for stepping up. This has been,
Oh.
really, thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're
Yes.
welcome. So we have, we still do not have any other committee members, but I think there's been enough discussion here. And I just want to give the other people who have joined us. I have Tejeda and Campbell. Do any of you wish to speak or say anything? Either say yes or no, and I won't bug you. Because I don't know how to work.
No,
this.
I'm okay. I just came to listen in.
Thank you, thank you. And
Yes, this is Winnie Campbell. I'm the Deputy Director of HPD's Bronx Planning Office. So as
great.
often as I can, I just like to listen into the various community board meetings for their housing and their land use. And of course, this board, the housing and the land use are two separate meetings, which is no big deal.
yes,
Because again, there's a lot that until you attend these meetings, you really don't have a full flavor for what goes on in a community for day to day. So I just like to listen and hear.
well, thank you for attending.
You're
We will
welcome.
be in touch when we need something. We'll
That
remember
is
you.
fine. That's what we're there for. Thank you.
Thank you.
Julie, I want to say
so-
one thing. Julie,
Sure.
I want to say one thing. Yeah, I have to help you out with your notes. The project number
Okay.
for security gates is 9910.
Thank you, 9910. Does it have a year attached to it or just 9910?
9910. It was supposed to have
Okay.
started
It does-
actually. toward-
I would
If that's
speculate that's a
funded-
NYCHA number,
Yeah,
not
that's.
a OMB number, but that's okay.
Oh, okay, I'll put that. Thanks, David Nycha. Thank you,
But I
Tony.
thought that particular item was funded, or it looks like it's
It
funded.
is,
It is.
So it
it is,
wouldn't
but
be
we're
on
just
our
gonna
list.
put it in the minute.
Oh, in the minutes. Oh,
we're
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
put it in the
Thank you.
minutes.
Yeah, I'm
We're gonna
sorry.
Put it in the minutes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
This way, when they come back to us 10 years later and say, oh, we're still working on it. Okay, so as far as the agenda, does anyone have any old business? Anybody have any new business? Okay, if not, I want to thank everyone for attending. Thank you so much. And Laura, I hope when I just sign out, this thing will stop recording.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, great. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
Okay.
Night,
Same
Julie.
here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night,
Okay.
everybody. Stay
Bye-bye.
well. Good night.
Okay.